than we can spend in our lifetime? Show of hands. I always want. Okay, so if your hand is down, you are free to leave because I'm about to talk about money here. And if you're not interested in making a lot of money, then I am the wrong person for you. It's an absolute honor to be here. I got a little bit of time, so I'm going to rush through it. And what I'm hoping you understand is the value of the space you find yourself in and the value of the opportunity that is before you. Because if you don't understand what is happening here, you may miss your biggest chance at getting to become the person that can earn more money than your family can spend. Are we together? Because what you are doing here, let me put it this way. The perspective you have on money has a big bearing on the amount of money you're going to be able to attract to yourself and to the people you love. Are we together so far? And how do you get this perspective? Your perspective is shaped by how you believe money is going to come to you. Now, there are 4 ways that money can come to you. And all 4 ways shape your perspective, and they also determine the multiples that will come to you. Are we together? I'll take you through some of them, right? Of the 4, the one at number 4 that can get you to earning hundreds to maybe thousands is where you have a job. Are we together? That is where you go and work for someone else. And why it's number 4 or the least viable is because you're usually getting paid for your time. Are we together? And how many hours do we have in a day? 24, right? How many of those hours can you actually work? 24. Okay, not 24, right? So the thing is, there are a limited number of hours. Are we together? And there are very few employers out there that will ever get to a point where they'll pay you what you are worth. Are we together? So having a job is a legit way of getting paid. But let me be honest with you, very few people will become wealthy from their job. Especially if your job pays you according to the amount of hours you work for them. Are we together? And that's it. The second worst way, and sometimes people get tired of working for a boss and they say, this boss doesn't treat me well, I'm going to start my own company, right? Then you start your company and you are the only employee. You're not in business yet. What you've done is you now own a job. Are we together? You're going to make more money than a person who has a job because you can now determine what price your customers will pay you. Are we together so far? So the reason why I'm mentioning this is that when you own a job, you are the system. You are the person they call. You are the person that collects receipts. You are the person who's creating the product. You are making more money, but you have significantly less time than a person who has a job. Are we together so far? And I want to be very clear, your wealth is not necessarily determined by whether you've got a job or you own a job. It's determined more with what you then do with the money you get. So you can be on a job, but if you own a job and take part of the money that you've earned and put it into an idea that makes money for you whilst you're not necessarily working on it, you can build wealth. Are we together? But what I want you to understand is that when you are in these spaces, be very clear to say, as I am going through school, what system, what pathway, what way, what perspective am I standing on, and how much money could it potentially make for me? Are we together? So a job gets you in the thousands. Owning a job can get you maybe in the hundreds of thousands. Do you guys want to know what gets you into the millions and the billions? Okay, I thought as much, right? The number 1 way is when you begin to own a system. Are we together? When you begin to own a system, what do I mean when I say own a system? You find a problem that people have. Are we together? You come up with a solution to that problem. And the solution you come up with requires a team, or it's something that can be done initially with your involvement, and then subsequently you've built enough steps in it that it can work for you without you having to show up every single day. For example, the business ideas you guys are pitching, that falls in the highest way of creating wealth. Are we together? That's why when we come to you and we ask and you present here, I need you guys to understand that the things you are working on today and the projects you are presenting can get you into a point where you're within the wealthiest 1% of the world. Are we together? And you don't have to wait to get a degree for it to start paying you. Are we together? So I want you guys to take this seriously and begin to understand the moment you get past 12 years old, you are an adult. We expect you to start thinking in a way, and you can create things that I will buy them from you and will not even care how old you are. So in this system, what do we look for? You have to understand who your people are. That's why we ask you, who are your customers? You must understand which group of people have a problem that you've decided to solve. How big is that group of people? You see, success in business is not a secret. Like that, the formula to that is given. You find a problem that people have. You find a big enough group of people with the same problem. You make sure that those people with that problem don't want their problem anymore, and they're willing to pay for that problem to be solved. Are we together so far? And when you come up with your solution, you have to come up with a way to talk about your solution in a way that makes it clear in their minds that you are the answer that they've been looking for. Are we together? That you are the solution to the pain, or you are the bringer of pleasure that I've been seeking for. And once you've done that, you build a system that allows you to provide the solution consistently over and over and over again. Are we together? And the quicker you get to the number of people that make it profitable, we have a business that I only need 300 people to get to 1 million. How many people do you need in your business to get to 10,000, 100,000? Are we together? The clearer you get on that, the better. The next thing is to ask yourself, when people buy, why do people buy? They buy because of 3 reasons. 1, they buy because they feel like it. Are we together? What made them feel like it is none of our business. But they buy because they feel like it. Are we together? They buy secondly because they know they have a problem that needs a solution. Or they have pleasure that they are seeking that they believe you could give them. Are we together so far? And lastly, they buy because you've presented something to them that's more valuable than the money in their pockets. And when they buy from you, what are they wishing to get? When anyone buys from you, and I want you to start looking at your projects and say, do our projects provide this for the people who are getting them? People buy stuff from you in order to get access or proximity. Have you guys ever gone to a show before? Music, soccer. Which seats are the most expensive? And what are they usually called? VIP, right? So I'm paying more money so I can be closer to the performer or the team, right? So does your project create a desire in someone to want to be close to you? 1. Secondly, people buy to get acknowledged, for acknowledgement, to feel like they're important, or to show other people that they are important. Are they brand names? You guys know the brands, right? What are some of the brands that when you know you've won this brand, people know you are important? Tell me, which brands do we wear? Nike, right? What else? Yeah, that one. Okay. But there's the acknowledgement that when people use you, they say, I am with this organization, I'm with these people. Are we together? The last reason people will buy from you and what they want to get is a sense of achievement. When I buy this, can I associate with a big group of people that say, we've done it? Are we together? So if your products do not make people feel a sense of proximity to a feeling they want, if they don't feel a sense of achievement, or they don't feel that being part of this community gets me acknowledged by other people, you must look at your product again. Are we together? At the end of the day, we don't buy products or services. We buy the people behind them. We buy the stories behind them. Understand, it's not enough to just say it was the cheapest thing, or because my teacher said we needed a project, I shared it. Get to a point where you fall in love with the business you are doing, but more importantly, you fall in love with the people you are serving. That when you show up to them and you tell them why, or you're making an offer, they feel like you've spent more time thinking about their problem and the solution more than they have. With those few words, I thank you for the stage, and I wish all you the best, and I look forward to seeing you make a lot of money and helping a lot of people. Thank you.